London would be Matt Cook.
Yeah,
I thought sort of, and he seems to have picked up that title everywhere he's gone.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's someone, and someone I watched a lot when he played for London, and same sort of thing. And then the other more recent one for KR I put was James Donaldson. I think again he's that sort of third or fourth forward player, but someone who would work his absolute socks off. And I was, as we said at the time, I was surprised we didn't keep him as that extra option player, and he's gone to Leeds and filled in the same role. And but also, he's filled in that role, and he does take up a chunk of the work that you need to get through in that front row.
It's a bit like Willie Ice. That is a great 17th man on your team sheet sort of thing.
Yeah. And the one I put from a Coventry point of view was Harry Kaufman. He's been around the club for a long while. He played at Oxford as well, but he's just someone who the side gets better when he's there through his experience. He might not be the greatest player. He might, and sometimes not even be necessarily the most talented player in his position in the second row, but he's always there or thereabouts. He works hard and he puts the effort in, and he does bring people along. And you can see with his experience now, he chats to people and he drags them along with them, and he does sort of add that extra bit of cohesion to the side. And I think that's what I'd look for in this sort of player.
Yeah, all definite solid qualities that you like to see in these kind of guys, don't you? Craig Hall.
Okay, so moving on, I've picked 3 players from the varying kind of years of Bullmania, for want of a better word. So my first one is one of the kind of early players that we signed. He has a namesake in the league, but this Paul Cook, winger and fullback for us, kind of 95, 96.
Yeah.
He obviously had a history elsewhere as well.
Was he a goal kicker?
Yeah, fantastic goal kicker. Yeah, brilliant goal kicker. Very safe under the high ball, which I wish we'd had him in 1996. I was
going to say which Nathan Graham wasn't.
Yeah, but anyway. Paul Cook. Not a great name in terms of thing, but he never seemed to do anything wrong for me. Second one for me, a guy fitting into that second row mould, is Daniel Gartner, who was with us kind of 2000 to 2003.
Yeah.
Fantastic, solid player, never made a mistake. Brilliant player, and we really, really missed him when he went. Even though you wouldn't necessarily pick him out every game, but fantastic, solid player. And the last one for me is a player that I remember from one particular game, but he was the kind of epitome of the utility player, and that's Carl Pratt.
Interesting, Carl.
A guy who, the game I'm thinking of is the 2004 World Club Challenge, where he was filling in for injuries, and he played at halfback, and he basically ran the show and did an unbelievable job. Just filling in where he wouldn't have normally been. But a guy who could play wing, bit of every bit of hooker as well. And unfortunately had to retire way before his playing days were supposed to end. But yeah, I just remember him being a really utility-based player who could do anything you wanted him to do. So there are my 3.
I think there's one guy you've missed. Because when I did this, outside of like the Wigan sides, I thought, right, let's have a look at the sort of great sides of the Super League era as well, and try and pick out someone from those sides who maybe doesn't quite get the recognition and credit and stuff. And
Go on.
Scott Naylor, for me, in those early Super League era Bradford sides, he played a lot of games, mostly at centre, I think, but also a bit of back row and stuff like that. But during that period, he was never given a first team squad number. I think he was number 20, was he, or something like that?
He was always in the 20s, yeah.
Yeah, and yet he played every week.
Yeah,
maybe
I know.
He didn't want a number 1 to 13.
He might not have done, but yeah, no, he was. Yeah, the kind of centre that I suppose every club needs. Yeah, I mean, a great player. There's no doubt about that. Love Scott Naylor. Solid as a rock and all that. Yeah, good choice. Good choice, that.
Then I looked at the Saints side from 2006 and kind of around that, because obviously Daniel Anderson's side went on to have that great Challenge Cup run, for example, for 3 years in a row and stuff like that. And this Saints side was a great Challenge Cup side. They won 2004, 6, 7 and 8. So I don't know why maybe that doesn't get seemed to talk about a lot. But A.D. Gardner, even as I say it, I can't rate him that highly as a player.
No.
The world's fastest Brazilian.
And he never gets talked about as an exceptional player, and he never seemed that great. But he really did have a great record, especially in that sort of 2005, 6, 7, 8 period. He was, I think, Super League top try scorer at least once in that time, but he was Saints' top try scorer pretty much every year in that sort of time as well. And I know he benefited from having Jamie Lyon and Gidley and stuff inside as his centre. He did, but he scored a hell of a lot of tries in those years. At the start of his career, bit slow coming along, I think, maybe, and then at the end of his career, he played a lot of games when he lost his pace and still stayed out on the wing, which maybe didn't mean that we have the greatest memories there. I don't know, and he never felt like a danger man, did he? But he scored a fuckload of tries.
But didn't he concede a load as well? Wasn't he defensively pretty liable?
He certainly was by the time he got to KR on loan.
That's a system thing, though.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. He sort of was a jump, maybe jump the line kind of guy sometimes, and that sort of stuff. But that's why maybe. Yeah, maybe. I just sort of, when I was having a look through that side, I thought no one ever talks about him being like really good, but he scored 30 odd tries that year or something. The final one I want to mention is I had to pick out a Leeds player as well from that era of the golden generation or whatever they call it, the golden decade, whatever they call it over there. Ian Kirk.
Yes.
Ian Kirk didn't play in Super League till he was 25, but he went on to play in and win 5 grand finals. All of them came from the bench. And he played 9 seasons at Leeds and played over 200 games. So he played over 20 games a season at Leeds, and never had was never given a starting pack number, be it 8 or 10 when he played a bit of prop, or 11 or 12 when he played a bit of second row, or what have you. He never got a starting shirt number given to him. And 3/4 of his games for Leeds came from the bench. But he was a mainstay of that side for so many years, and no one ever talks about him.
He's now the conditioner for the referees, isn't he?
He and Leeds Carnegie as well. Yeah. Hello?
Hello?
Is everyone still there?
Yeah,
we were just marvelling at your wonder.
My ability to praise a Leeds player.
Yeah, we can tell it's through gritted teeth, but it's a bit easy with unsung players, though, isn't it? Because you can respect their kind of contribution more than anything else.
Yeah, just Ian Kirk. I can't believe no Leeds fan got in touch and said Ian Kirk. I couldn't believe it. But anyway,
well, that's a bit of a spoiler alert, isn't it?
It is, but let's get on to the fan views we've had in. Sarah, do you want to give us the first one that we got?
Yeah, so Mike Webster said, everybody remembers Mal Meninga coming to Saints in 1994. However, only those who witnessed Mal remember his winger, Sean Day. In what was his first and only full season, he scored 12 tries and an astonishing 157 goals. The latter after he wrested the goal kicking duties from Mal. Sadly, Sean died recently at age 56, but his obituary included this quote. In those late summer evenings, Day cut an unlikely but enthusiastic figure at training, diminutive in stature, a beaming smile, socks rolled down and wearing an anti-fox hunting T-shirt. In his one season, he ended with both Lancashire Cup and Premiership winner medals and was the season's top point scorer.
He must be
sounds
80.
pretty
Yes. Yeah, I think it's 84, must be.
But, that's a pretty impressive way to finish your only season, isn't it?
Oh, massively, yeah. Definitely.
He definitely had a boot on him. Tom Andrews says, Jason Netherton for me, always a solid performer for many years at KR. Plenty of interviews from players he played with saying he hit the hardest too. Every team needs someone like that. Local lad who clearly loved playing for the badge.
Yeah. So, go, sorry.
No, go, yeah. Talk about Jason Netherton. No worries, Tim. Totally.
Yeah, definitely the hard hitting thing. You could tell that from you could sort of see the reaction from his other players as well. They were willing him on. You could see when he'd make a tackle and they'd almost get a lift from the way that he had that sort of technique that he was able to put his whole body and shoulder through someone, and you could really feel that.
Andy liked Tom's tweet as well, which is nice. So hopefully he listens and hears all the praise, which is fantastic. Mark at Wilco2205 said, which, if that is his birthday, because I think it is, he must have had his birthday this weekend, so happy birthday if you did, Mark. Akuma Tai.
Maybe it's his PIN number.
Yeah.
Or his wedding anniversary or something.
No, he's not married yet, is he? Him and Lucy? It's Lucy, isn't it? Are engaged, but not married yet. Akuma Tai, he's been with us 7 years, and while we've been up and down in that time, I can't remember him having a bad game. Rarely misses a match, can play across the park, makes a big impact without being flashy, and is a key part of our leadership group behind the scenes.
And one of the few players that you can do along to the tune of In the Jungle, the Mighty Jungle.
Those sorts of things are unsung hero quality, isn't it? With people like him, and like what you were saying about Jason Netherton as well, Tim, that his teammates absolutely love him being in the side. And that sort of is the kind of thing that the fans don't necessarily see, or the commentators don't necessarily pick up on when they're sort of watching a game, sort of thing. Who's next, Tim?
Yeah, Fatboy Rob at Fatboy_Rob says 2 words: Nathan and Massey. The man's a genius. He doesn't score many tries, but he makes plenty of yards and plays the ball quickly. He must be number 1 on Macca's Christmas card list.
Who's next, Alan?
Agreeing with that is Simon Lees, that Milford Tiger. Says totally agrees about Massey. Takes the ball up, a lot of quick play of the balls. His hard work creates the opportunities for other players to get the glory. Another player would be James Clare. The amount of work he gets to do each game is immense. It gets us on the front foot. Another unsung winger.
It seems to be wingers are kind of getting quite a threat, aren't they? As well as those sort of tackling machine players as well, which is cool. Matthew Hawksworth at Pontipelli said, Matthew Cook for me. We always seem a better team with him in the side. So another shout for Matt Cook. Throughout his career, he's kind of getting shout outs for that, isn't he? On the show.
Yeah, Matt Cook's an interesting one because when we first signed him when he was a young lad, he was touted as being like an unbelievable talent that kind of rugby union was after as well. But it didn't quite work out for him. But what he didn't kind of exhibit through kind of flashiness, he turned into hard work, and he's made himself an incredibly solid professional as a result. So yeah, love Matt Cook as a result.
Sarah, do you want to read the last one?
Okay, so Josh's granddad, John Scott of 15, said, currently Carlos Tumivavi never has a bad game and has pocketed most of the big-name centres around. Recent past, Richard Whiting, an exceptional reader of the game, played full-back centre, off-half, second row, all to the same level of effort and commitment. Further in the past, Shane McMenemy was underwhelmed at his signing, but when watched every week realised how much of the dirty, unglamorous work he got through. A bit further back, Chico Jackson deserves a mention. Another player who would put his hand up to play wherever the team needed him, recognised by Brian Smith that this versatility prevented him gaining honours in the game. Was Chico before your time, Mark?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
So there was an 18-year-old boy 18-year-old boy, 18-year-old called Anthony Jackson, who played in